This video is sponsored by Storyblocks.
Hey, excuse
Yeah.
me. Hey, how you doing? Hey, can you tell me where the Under Armour Cold Black golf gear is?
Are you
Tom
from
Brady.
Boston? Your accent.
Hey, where's the Under Armour?
Under Armour is one of the top 3 sportswear brands in the world, worth $12 billion. The company is widely known for creating t-shirts that could wick away sweat faster than anything else on the market, while keeping athletes cool, dry, and light. The idea came to mind after a college football player realized his biggest opponent was his own buckets of sweat. The cotton t-shirts he had to wear on the field would constantly get soaked and even drag him down. Eager to perform at his best, he used all of his savings and maxed out his credit cards to create an alternative from his grandmother's basement, hitting rock bottom for many years before outfitting leagues like the NFL, MLB, and NHL. Kevin Plank was born in 1972 in Kensington, Maryland, as the youngest of 5 brothers to a middle-class family. His mother was the mayor of Kensington before directing the Office of Intergovernmental Affairs, and his father worked as a land developer. As the youngest in his family, Kevin was forced to become athletic to escape his brother's babysitting. While his parents were away, his brothers often looked after him by giving him a wedgie, putting him on a coat hanger, and then shoving him in a closet. Over time, the athletic skills Kevin built up led to a passion for sports, specifically football, which he pursued at Georgetown Prep. There, Kevin played football on the varsity squad, up until he was kicked out. After failing not 1, but 2 classes, Kevin got into a drunken brawl with some Georgetown University football players. At that point, Georgetown Prep had had enough of Kevin not living up to their standards and decided to expel him. Fortunately, it didn't take long for Kevin to find a new school. St. John's College High School took notice of his football skills and invited him to attend. Kevin gladly accepted their offer. Having been given a second chance, Kevin started to take school and sports more seriously. He wanted to play more than just varsity football and hoped to get recruited for Division I college football. Sadly, he never received a single recruitment offer. Before we get into the next part of the story, we would like to quickly thank our sponsor, Storyblocks. Storyblocks offers unlimited downloads of high-quality, royalty-free stock video, audio, and images. With a Storyblocks Unlimited All-Access plan, subscribers can choose from a vast and diverse library of stock video, motion backgrounds, special effects, After Effects templates, production music, sound effects, and more. And if you're part of a marketing team or larger organization, their enterprise license has your back with comprehensive coverage for your entire company that enables you to distribute wherever, whenever. Thanks to Storyblocks, we've enhanced how we bring our stories to life while saving on time, budget, and resources. To check them out, simply go to storyblocks.com/hook. Hell-bent on not giving up on his dream, Kevin graduated from St. John's early and enrolled in Fork Union Military Academy, a school with a reputation for sending NFL hopefuls to top college football programs. But once again, history repeated itself, and Kevin never received an offer. Eventually, Kevin decided to enroll in the University of Maryland's Business Administration program. There, he played for their football team, the Terrapins, as a walk-on, a player who is recruited without an athletic scholarship. Over time, Kevin managed to work his way up to becoming the Terrapins special teams captain, and somehow, when he wasn't in class or on the field, he worked various odd jobs like selling roses on campus and t-shirts at concerts. Kevin seemingly had it all together, balancing school, sports, and work. But during his sophomore year, he received devastating news that threw him off. His father had passed away from blood cancer. Following the tragic loss of his father, Kevin threw himself into sports but found himself constantly struggling to perform at his best. The cotton shirts he had to wear under his uniform would always soak up his sweat, drag him down on the field, and then leave him feeling cold, wet, and heavy, a feeling that he hated. Kevin became eager to find an alternative but discovered none existed on the market, leading to a realization that could possibly change that. One day, Kevin noticed that his Lycra compression shorts, form-fitting garments made from a variety of synthetic fabrics, always seemed to stay dry during workouts. He wondered why he had never seen shirts made with the same material and started looking for something similar. The only products he could find were high-priced clothes for cold weather climbing, meant to keep people dry and safe from hypothermia. Kevin then wondered if it was possible to create something more affordable and quickly decided to try on his own. Kevin first began by visiting a tailor shop to learn about the different synthetic fabrics and make note of his favorites. He then spent hundreds of dollars making prototypes and passed them out to fellow Terrapin athletes like lacrosse player Kip Fulks. Many of them gave Kevin suggestions on what to improve on, leading to his 37th and most favorable design, the Shorty. The Shorty was a soft, skin-tight, and stretchy microfiber shirt that could wipe away sweat while keeping athletes feeling cool, dry, and light. Kevin was so confident that he had created an alternative to cotton that while his UMD classmates looked for stable jobs after graduating, he used all of his savings and maxed out his credit cards to turn his product into a business. It was a stressful decision. Kevin was betting everything he had, but fortunately, he wasn't alone. He had managed to win over Terrapin lacrosse player Kip Fulks to join him as the co-founder of his new business. Together, the two headed to New York City's famous garment district to learn more about the industry's supply chain and find a company that could manufacture more shorties. Around this time, Kevin realized it was time to finally come up with a business name. At first, Kevin wanted to call it Heart, since you wear your heart on your sleeve, but his trademark application didn't go through. His next choice was Body Armor, but that was already taken by body shops and ballistic vest manufacturers. The perfect name later came in the least likely of places. Enjoying this story so far? Be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get more fascinating stories about industry leaders. The morning that Kevin learned Body Armor wasn't available, he made lunch plans with his oldest brother, Bill. When Kevin showed up at his door, Bill looked out at him and asked, "How's that company you're working on, Under Armour?" While many would have been upset by his cluelessness, Kevin was happy to have found a new name. After making the name Under Armour official, Kevin and Kip set out to spread the word about the shorties, later renamed the Heat Gear. The two began by sending freebies to anyone who would take them and pleaded with some to pass them out to sports players. Some players, like Jim Druckenmiller, tried them out and quickly became early advocates. While the buzz about Under Armour was growing, the company had yet to make any profit, forcing Kevin to become so broke that he had to turn to his mom for food. Desperate to get back on his feet, Kevin headed out to a blackjack tournament in Atlantic City, hoping to win enough money to pay off $6,000 in unpaid bills. Fortunately, Kevin got lucky and managed to win that amount. But then, he pushed his luck too far by continuing to play and lost it all. Without a penny to his name, Kevin couldn't afford the $2 toll on the bridge to get home. At that moment, he felt like he had finally hit rock bottom, unaware that orders would soon come to him. One day, Kevin got a call from Georgia Tech. The university's football team, Yellow Jackets, wanted to know if his Under Armour shirts came in a long sleeve cut. Kevin immediately told them yes, even though they didn't actually exist. Then, he rushed to his manufacturer to ask if they could be made. Fortunately, it was possible and Under Armour was able to sign its first deal for 350 shirts. After the shirts were sent off, Georgia Tech invited Kevin to watch the Yellow Jackets take to field in Under Armour's gear. By then, Kevin still struggled with money issues and couldn't afford a hotel room, so he had no choice but to sleep in the stadium's visiting locker room. Under Armour's deal with Georgia Tech opened up more opportunities for the company. Athletes were talking up its quality, and people were listening. Positive reviews spread through word of mouth and led to deals with NC State University, the Atlanta Falcons, and the New York Giants. Still, Kevin and Kip faced problems with getting Under Armour's gear to their former university team, the Terrapins. The Terrapins were impressed with Under Armour but had a contract with Nike that made them unable to buy from them. Not one to just take no as an answer, Kevin stepped in when the Terrapins were looking for a turtleneck in red, since Nike couldn't offer anything. Under Armour not only manufactured the turtlenecks, but even hid their logo so that the Terrapins could avoid any repercussions from Nike. By the end of the year, Under Armour sales had gone up from 500 products sold to over 7,500. The company also launched a new line of t-shirts called Cold Gear, which kept athletes feeling warm, dry, and light in cold conditions. 1 year later, Under Armour caught the attention of the NFL and managed to close a deal to supply their Europe League. When the NFL reps were in town, they called Kevin and asked to stop by his office. Not wanting them to see him working from his grandmother's basement, he offered to buy them lunch at a fine dining steakhouse instead. However, Kevin wasn't sure if he could actually afford it and headed to the bank to withdraw every last dollar. In spite of the continued money issues, everything that Kevin poured into Under Armour began to pay off that year. After hearing about an Oliver Stone film in production, Any Given Sunday, Kevin sent Under Armour samples to the set. Sports Rope, the company supplying the film's sporting equipment, loved them and asked for more. When Kevin sent them an invoice, they were shocked, but eventually agreed to pay. Kevin finally had enough money to get back on his feet and move operations out of his grandmother's basement and into a proper office. When Any Given Sunday was released, athletes took notice of the Under Armour gear worn by the actors. Soon after, Under Armour saw an immediate boost in sales and became the fastest-selling soft goods producer for sportswear store East Bay. By the end of the year, Under Armour went from having to send out small batches of gear out of his grandmother's basement to selling over 200,000 from a proper office. Under Armour also began outfitting the MLB, NFL, NHL, NCAA, XFL, and even the US archery team for the 2000 Summer Olympics. From then on, Under Armour continued to grow at a breakneck pace, hiring 100 employees and hitting $55 million in sales. Competitors then took notice and took advantage of the fact that Kevin didn't patent Under Armour's designs. Reebok and Nike soon came out with similar designs and snatched contracts away from Under Armour. Fortunately, Under Armour still managed to score a long-awaited goal around this time, becoming the official outfitter for the University of Maryland's Terrapins. In the following years, Under Armour would achieve even bigger wins, but only after accepting one loss after another. After nearly a decade in business, Kevin and Kip decided it was time to take Under Armour public. Shares were expected to sell at $13 per share, but instead reached a high of $31, making it the first US company in 5 years to double its share price on the first day of trading. From then on, Under Armour continued to grow and impress investors. First, the company expanded into football cleats and quickly snatched up almost a quarter of the market, helping them to become the official footwear supplier for the NFL. Afterward, Under Armour's products expanded from the big screen to the silver screen, with its gear being seen in the NBC TV show, Friday Night Lights. 1 year later, the company opened its first retail store and revealed a new shoe design in their first Super Bowl ad. By the end of the year, Under Armour's apparel revenue increased by 20% and footwear by 40%. In the following years, Under Armour became more focused on innovating new sportswear performance products. The company introduced a faster drying cotton shirt, expanded into sports bra, and moved into the digital space by acquiring MapMyFitness. Under Armour appeared to be seemingly unstoppable, and once again, competitors took notice. Threatened by Under Armour's success, Nike and Adidas ramped up their efforts to take a larger share of the athletic apparel and footwear market from them. Soon after, Under Armour began to lose sales for reasons beyond increased competition. While the industry shifted towards athleisure and fashion trends, Under Armour remained focused on sportswear performance. And while they later partnered up with designer Tim Coppens to hop on the trend, the collection was considered a failure. Eventually, Kevin stepped down as Under Armour CEO and transferred leadership to former COO Patrick Frisk. Meanwhile, Kip remained at the company as its CMO and was later appointed President of Footwear and Innovation. Under Patrick and Kip's leadership, Under Armour continued to innovate new sportswear performance products, particularly for women. It also focused on selling directly to consumers through its stores and websites as opposed to wholesalers, and better marketing its brand, which included less off-price retailing, a practice where high-quality goods are sold at cheap prices. Only 1 year later, Under Armour experienced their strongest top and bottom results in the company's history, thanks to many of the new changes. From the beginning, Under Armour had called its operations unconventional. The company had been created by an athlete who was dissatisfied with the workout clothes that were the norm and had to make people want an alternative. As it grew, all of its campaigns and creative designs were worked on in-house instead of being contracted to other firms, and instead of grand testing facilities, its products were tested in real-life conditions. But when it came to following the industry, being unconventional is ultimately what led to Under Armour's stumbles. When the rest of the market pivoted to follow the athleisure and fashion trends, Under Armour remained set in their mission to improve performance sportswear. While there were bumps along the road, in the end, Kevin did manage to convince athletes that they needed something better than cotton, and built an industry around just that. Today, Kevin's legacy lives on. Under Armour is now among the top 3 sportswear brands in the world, worth $12 billion. This is the story of how a college football player invented a revolutionary product from his grandmother's basement and hit rock bottom for many years before outfitting leagues like the NFL, MLB, and NHL, turning the business into a billion-dollar empire. For more inspiring stories about today's biggest companies, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.